Another interview with an Owatonna High School graduate who's in the coaching ranks and happened to be coaching at the state boys basketball tournament. Greg Olson is one of the assistants for Apple Valley, and actually, I guess 2 championships out of the last 3 years, so Apple Valley might have a little dynasty going, right, Greg?
Things are definitely headed in the right direction for our basketball program, that's for sure.
Headed in the right direction, huh? It seems like you might be there.
Well, we were lucky enough to win a state championship this year without a starting senior in the lineup, so all 5 guys that played significant minutes for us will be back next year.
Wow, well, that is quite a program that has developed there. Now, how long have you been involved with coaching at Apple Valley?
This was my 5th year at Apple Valley coaching.
Okay. Now, have you done some coaching before that?
Nope, I got my start at Apple Valley as a sophomore coach. For the last 3 years, I've been working as the head coach's assistant, so just with the varsity now.
Uh-huh. Do you have goals or aspirations to be a head coach somewhere sometime?
Absolutely. That is one thing that is one of my lifelong goals is to be a head coach and have my own program at some point, but I'm very content and happy where I'm at right now with Apple Valley.
And I can only imagine where the inspiration comes to want to be a head coach. What are some thoughts about that?
I think you're probably aiming in the right direction. It's been an honor and a privilege to grow up as an Olson and a coach, having a dad as a coach my entire life and learning the game inside and out, and not so much as always the X's and O's, Roy, but teaching these kids what it takes to be good men, young men, on and off the court as well. So that's really a tribute to my dad, Len Olson, who has a couple state titles of his own, but he turned out remarkable young men.
Well, no doubt that's so much more important than just the wins and losses. What are some of your earliest recollections of being around the gym and around the basketball program?
I can remember all the way back to when we still lived in Duluth, getting up early on Saturdays, going down to practice with the team, and all the way through, the youth programs in Owatonna. I was always kind of around, being a ball boy, going to practices, staying late, getting extra shots, things like that, where, in junior high, we practiced before school, and then I'd get on a bus and travel to the high school and practice and get more shots while the varsity was practicing. So it was just always around basketball, and, it was always a topic of conversation around the household, but it was really fun.
Now, you brought up a great idea, a great the thought about developing good young men and people that'll be future leaders, but you're also, you're teaching X's and O's. What's an example of that opportunity to make someone a better person through basketball or through sports?
Well, I think just that hard work and determination factor. Kids these days are always, finding a way to play video games and things like that, but if we can get them to develop a good work ethic and work hard, and teach them that through hard work anything is possible, I think that really opens up their futures for them as young men.
As far as Apple Valley winning the title, you guys had to beat an unbeaten team. What was the key to the win over Champlin Park?
We played Champlin Park early in December up in St. Cloud at a Christmas tournament, and at that point in our program or in our year, we thought we were more athletic than just about any team that we would match up against. So the game that we played up in St. Cloud turned into a track meet. We ended up losing that game by 5 points. We ended up, like you said, beating them in the state championship. We got our shot at redemption. And we knew going in that they were the superior athletic team. They've got a 2-time defending state long jump and high jump champion. They've got really good guards and a center that really gets off the floor well and is an extreme shot blocker. So we knew the key for us to winning that game was slowing it down, getting good possessions, and getting inside post touches, and then working out from there.
I guess in the category of it's a small world, which is kind of why I'm chatting with you, Greg Olson, and had an interview on with Mike Nolan and Kyle Melcher, a more recent Owatonna graduate, also is involved in coaching, in his case over at Mankato East. And I guess Mark Randall, another Owatonna High School graduate, principal here in town, his nephew plays for Champlin Park?
Yes, his nephew's one of their key reserves. Aaron Kleppner's his name, and he was definitely in our scouting report, that's for sure. I had a chance. I ran into Arlie and Betty Randall, which were the grandparents of Aaron Kleppner, so I had a chance to talk to them up at the state tournament. That was kind of nice.
And then the same thing with Mike Nolan, who graduated from Owatonna a few years before you. He's on the staff for Lakeville North, the team you guys played in the semifinals, right?
Correct. So yeah, I had a nice chat with Mike before the game at half court there at the Target Center, and we face Lakeville North 2 times every year. We face them in the summertime, so facing them for the 3rd time the same year, we knew it was going to be a tough task, and it's always good to coach against people, that's for sure.
Now, Mike commented how hard it is to coach against his former team as far as former school, because Owatonna and Lakeville North cross paths quite frequently. What about in your time? Has Owatonna ever played Apple Valley in recent years?
We never have, and it's something that we were actually just contemplating trying to get something on the schedule in the years coming up here. So we have not. I've never had to face Owatonna, and but hopefully sometime soon in the future we can get something scheduled.
Okay, and have you followed along with Tyus Jones and his transition with Duke and how that's all going for him, Apple Valley graduate?
I have. It's funny you ask, because last fall, a few of the coaches and I, we went down to Duke. They had just started practice, so we got to see the, what it takes, what they do from an off-season perspective in the fall, and then they took us to a football game, and we did things like that. Well, then later in December, we had the opportunity to go down to a game at Cameron Indoor Stadium. So we spent the weekend down there and watched Tyus and kind of got to see some of the things behind the scenes. It's been really fun watching. It puts a different perspective to the basketball game when you watch it on TV now. So we're actually getting ready for the game. They play tonight as well, so we're getting excited.
And now, some of the talk around Target Center are all very, very unofficial, but some people have commented that Trey might be a better player than his big brother. Can you comment at all on that yet?
I can tell you this. They both have the same role on the teams they play for now, and they're both freshmen. After that, they're completely different players, and Tyus is having a wonderful career at Duke, and Trey's going to have a wonderful career at Apple Valley and eventually somewhere else in college. So they're very, very different people. They're great kids first and foremost. They're excellent basketball players, and they're separate and different in their own ways.
All right, well, very good. Greg, I appreciate the time to chat about some basketball coaching and a little bit about some of the X's and O's. Anything else you want to mention or shout out here?
No problem, Roy. Just thanks for the call. I appreciate it, and let me know if you need to chat. It's good to talk to you guys down there.
All right. Greg Olson, 1994 Owatonna High School graduate. As we've established, Len Olson, his father, a longtime coach at a number of schools, including Owatonna for a long time, of course. And Greg, now one of the assistants for Apple Valley, who just won a state championship during the recent boys basketball tournament.